In here, are you recording right now?
Yep.
So for those of you at home today, or those of you who have gone, you've got to take the quiz online. The code is Fetchers, all in caps. That's all caps. You get on, you take the quiz online, and it's Fetchers. You have 5 minutes. You are to take no more time than that. You are not to use calculators, look at your friends, work, anything like that. You just do your own work, and then you submit it after 5 minutes. When you put your answers in, if the answer is 28, do not write equals 28. Don't put a space, just put 28. If you put any symbols, it'll mark it wrong. We're going to jump into lecture today. We record all of our classes. Usually I do it in the afternoon. I want to show you guys a couple of things online really quick. This stuff can be pretty powerful, pretty important. We have a lot to cover today. And I don't know, how many of you would like to skip class occasionally? Raise your hand and be like, hey, we could skip class. Who would like that? Raise your hand. Who's like, no, I never want to skip class? Raise your hand. Come on. Way to go. I'm impressed. Okay. All right. We are actually going to work really hard today to try to give ourselves Monday off. Okay? Some of you look perplexed. I don't understand. I have a child who never wants to miss school. And I'm like, hey, you want to go skiing today? She's like, no, I can't miss school. I'm like, what the fetch? Whose child are you? You know? I think you're related to her. Okay? Some of you are like, I don't want to miss class. Who doesn't want to miss class now and then? You know? Okay? Sometimes we're going to work really, really hard and give you some of your own space to just accomplish what you need to accomplish, and you don't have to come to class to do it. Okay? Probably have 3 or 4 days during the semester we'll try to do that. Monday is one of those days, okay? But we have to get a lot done in class today. First thing I want everybody to do, we can go ahead and look at the board here on the camera. But you obviously have your announcement. There's going to be a new announcement published later on this afternoon that tells you when the test is open. Because you have your first test is going to be open. We're going to discuss that test later on today. It's going to tell you when the test dates are, when the retake dates are. We'll talk about all of that. Then we're going to, and you can keep the camera on this. So I'm going to just be showing stuff. And then I want to put this, I'm going to quickly put this in student view. I've told you before, I like to look at show by type so that homework is separated from attendance and stuff like that. You have all your assignments, R1 through R7. We're going to discuss R7 today. That's going to be due Monday by the beginning of class time, as it always is. And then you have what's called a visual chart and a practice test. And we're going to talk about those, and those are going to be due Tuesday by midnight. Okay? So you have a little more time to do those, but I would recommend getting them done sooner because you have to have those done before you take any test in this class. Let me repeat. You have 2 assignments, a visual chart and a practice test, and you're never to do the actual test until you have both of those assignments done, and you're completely on your honor with those. You have your attendance for the next couple months, whatever. And then we have tutoring assignments. Folks, the first 2 tutoring assignments have come and gone. If you didn't do them, there's no makeups. You've lost those opportunities. We have 2 more that are due by, what? September 26th, it says right there, which is what day?
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, so a lot of stuff's coming down on Tuesday. There's an order of operations and an area, and we're going to go over area today. So both those can be done. They're pretty quick and slick. You've now taken the 2 quizzes, and then you see here is the Chapter R test. We're going to open that up in a little bit. We're not going to do it right now. We're going to open that up in a little bit, and we're going to discuss it, okay? I'm going to talk to you guys about the R7. Before I do, I want to just take just a minute to talk to you about honesty and integrity a little bit deeper than I did last time, okay? So, last time I talked to you about a little bit about honesty and integrity. So, a really interesting story. I began my teaching career at Ivy Tech State College, okay? I began my teaching career at Ivy Tech State College. That is in the greater Indiana and Illinois region. And I lived and worked in this Gary, Indiana, kind of Chicago region. And it is the highest murder per capita rate in the nation, okay, in that greater Chicago area, which incorporates Gary, Indiana. A lot of gang culture. A lot of our students in our classes, this is 30 years ago, okay? But a lot of students in our classes wanted to go to school, but a lot of them were trying to get free money. And they kind of, come in, they get their little Pell Grants, money kick into their account, and then they disappear. So one of the things we were trying to do is get students to stay with school and use that as an option. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that I had students in my class that were involved in gangs, that were gang members. I had students that participated in, drugs, they were drug dealers, they sold drugs. I had students that worked at strip clubs, prostitution, things like that. It was pretty crazy, okay, compared to like Ricks College, BYU, Idaho, all right? And knowing my audience, okay, when we had to take a test for the very first time, I thought, I've really got to talk to these students about honesty and integrity. And I said, I'm going to be in trouble. I think a lot of these kids are going to cheat on their test. We took our test in the classroom, and one of the things, and I'll be really candid with you, I grew up in bigger cities, and I was not, I don't want to misrepresent myself here, I was not involved in gangs, but I had friends that were, and it was more rare, but I did have some friends that were, and so I knew a little bit about gang culture, but not on some deep level, but more than just watching a movie, okay? And so one of the things I understood was that in gangs, that representation was really important to them. So if they had a tattoo, if they wore a certain color, if they wore certain clothing, it meant something, and they weren't allowed to wear those or get those markings unless they'd earned them. And to earn them, sometimes those rites of passage were pretty brutal, including murder. But if you wore those things and didn't earn them, or hadn't gone through the rite of passage to wear those colors or markings, you could be killed. And so that was really important to them. So one of the things I brought up on the first day of class, I'd go up there and I'd write A, B, C, D, F, okay? And usually I'd put them in different colors just to kind of, emphasize that, each one of these represented, kind of a different subgroup or category. And I'd tell them, all right, guys, I said, you want to earn an A in this class? Great. And I'm like, but don't be stealing somebody's A when you're a C student and throwing that on your arm and saying that's your gang. And they liked it. It resonated with them. And I said, so you wear what you earn and you wear it with pride. If the best you can do is be a C, then wear that C with pride. But don't steal somebody else's A and pretend you're an A student. Don't be a poser. Don't be a pretender. And they liked it. I taught there for 2 years. In the 2 years that I taught there, never did any student attempt to cheat. Not one time. We had a little mirror in our classroom. Okay? It's about this big. Okay? People go up there and they check their due. Okay? And I'd stand behind it because it was actually a teacher prep room. And I could look through the mirror, and I could give my students the bird. And be like, hey, I don't like you. Okay? But I actually did like them. But bottom line is that they couldn't tell that I was looking at them. It was a two-way mirror. But all they could see is themselves, and I could look at them. One semester, I really, really wanted to know if these students weren't cheating because I was standing in the classroom and they were scared that I would catch them. And I really wanted to know if they had integrity. And I debated for a long time, because I was like, if I catch somebody cheating, then I got to deal with it. It's like, this is going to suck. And I don't want to lure them into cheating. So I said, be honest, have integrity. I got to step out for a minute. And I left, and I thought, I'm going to stand there for 5 minutes. I stood behind that mirror for 30 minutes. I just kept watching intently. No student ever reached under their leg, grabbed a crib sheet. Nobody pulled up their sleeve and looked at something they wrote on their arm or their hand. Nobody looked at each other. Nobody cheated. First semester at Ricks College. One of my students got caught cheating in the testing center. Right? And we're all members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I'm like, holy crap. And I realized what the difference was. You know what the difference was? I didn't talk to my Rick's College students about honesty and integrity. I talked to my Ivy Tech students because I thought they needed it. I didn't talk to my Rick's College students because I didn't think they needed it. And I realized I learned something that day. We're all created from the same God, and we're all subject to the same challenges. And we all need a good reminder of what our responsibilities are. I told you last class period to have honesty and integrity. And, I talked to you about the power of the nevers. I talked to you about the atonement, all those things. Bottom line is, you're taking your tests at home in this class. You're taking them in Canvas. You can take them, in the library here. You can take them at home, okay? But it's your work. You do your own work. There's no Googling answers. There's no looking at, your notes. There's no pulling out your book. There's no talking to your neighbors. There's no having other people do the test for you. And we are not going to monitor this test. You're completely on your honor. You catching me? Okay? And that's how this class rolls. And I'm going to give you some stuff today. I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm like, you're on your honor on this. Like doing the visual chart and the practice test before you take a test, no one's going to check up on you on that. You got to turn it in by a certain deadline, but, I'm not going to check up to see, did you actually do it before you took the test? But you're wasting your time and my time when you don't do that stuff. In this class, you have the gift of being able to retake every single test in this class one time. That's a huge gift. Okay? But before you retake any test in here, you are required to meet with a tutor and go over all the problems you got wrong the first time you took the test. No one's going to check up on you on that. Could you go in and retake the test and never meet with a tutor? Yep. You're on your honor. You know what I mean? These are the things that make you a better student in here. If you retake the test and you get the same score or a worse score, all right, you didn't review enough. By the way, retakes in this class, you get the highest score. So there's no fear because there's no penalty in retaking a test. If you get a lower score, you're still going to get the highest of the two scores. Okay? All right. We're going to jump into today's lecture, R7. But I guess, go ahead and turn it off for just a second. Just pause it. Who took geometry class at one time in their lives? Who did not like it? Okay, even I didn't like it. Geometry was hard for me, which is weird. I was good at math, but sometimes if you're good at algebra, you're bad at geometry. And if you're good at geometry, you're bad at algebra. It's like a really interesting kind of thing that, and some of you are nodding your heads like you're getting this. This is not geometry like geometry class. This is like the simple stuff. And I told you, if you can get ahead, go ahead. How many people began working in R7? Raise your hands. Okay, just a couple of you. That's right. We are going to rip through this really fast today. We're going to rip through it fast because it's easily understood. I want you to join me on this first page right here. First of all, everything you need to know is in that red box. You got to memorize this. We have 5 formulas that we have to memorize in this class. They will not be provided for you on the test. All other formulas outside of these 5 will be provided for you on the test. You got to know the area of a rectangle, length times width. Perimeter of a rectangle, 2L plus 2W. Area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. Perimeter of a triangle, sum of sides, side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3. And the 3 angles of a triangle, the sum of them equals 180 degrees. Those 5 have to be memorized. In this section, we're going to talk about 3 different types of measurement: area, perimeter, and volume. We're going to talk about these shapes: rectangles, squares, triangles, circles, parallelograms, cubes, and rectangular prisms. And we're going to cover these formulas, but these are the 5 that have to be memorized. Those 5 are in here. There's some others in here as well. You will not have to memorize the others. Like I said, they'll be provided for you in a testing situation and in this class. Okay? It can't hurt to memorize them all, for sure, but these are the 5 you must. Notice the circles, the circumference and the area of a circle are not included in the ones you have to memorize. Okay, let's go to the next page. You can do a little word matching. I used to do this back in grade school. It's kind of fun. Okay, I want you guys to help me out. On measurements, we have area, perimeter, and volume. I told you all these things down here need to go up into one of these different categories. Okay, straight measurement, i.e. inches or feet. Which of these is straight measurement? Area, perimeter, or volume? Perimeter. Okay, so go ahead and write straight measurement in perimeter and then cross it out. Okay? Let's do this quick. Square measurement. Where does square measurement go?
Area.
Area, right? So put square measurement under area. Cubic measurement. Where does that go? Volume. Exactly. All right, so we've taken those three off the chart there. So straight goes to the perimeter, and don't draw lines. That's just going to look like a spider web. Literally, just take it, write it, and make a column, and write each of these under the correct column. So those three are done. Two-dimensional interior measurement. So if I was going to ask you to measure, all of this carpet in here, okay, are we talking about area, perimeter, or volume? Area. So area is two-dimensional interior measurement. Three-dimensional internal measurement, not interior, but internal measurement. Okay, so like if I had a can of Coca-Cola and I want to measure all of the liquid inside, that is all the interior, right? That is which one? Volume, exactly. Good. Two-dimensional exterior measurement. Okay, so if I literally was going to measure this trim all around this door, top and bottom, what is that? Perimeter, right? So two-dimensional exterior measurement is perimeter. Circumference. Which of these three would circumference fall under? Perimeter, very good. It's the special name that perimeter is given for circles. Okay, it says discuss, so I'll just tell you really quick. Perimeter, literally defined, means sum of sides. It's the addition of all the exterior sides, but there's no sides on a circle, and so it's called circumference, but it still is a perimeter type of measurement, okay? The sum of all sides, I just told you. Which one is that? Perimeter. Product of two touching sides. Product of two touching sides. Area, perimeter, or volume? Area. And then the product of three touching separate sides. That is volume. All right, cool.
What was the one for two touching sides again?
That is area.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to the next page. It's kind of fun. Shapes. First shape we got to talk about is rectangles. We got to bust through this, okay? A rectangle is a four-sided object. It has four angles. All the angles are 90 degrees, and opposite sides are always equal. The area of a rectangle is the length times its width. The perimeter is the sum of sides. It is two lengths plus two widths, or length plus width plus length plus width. What is the length of this rectangle? Notice right here it says assume measurements in feet, unless it's stated otherwise. Okay? That's just on this page. That's not everywhere. But always label your geometry problems. We never say the area is 24. We say it's 24 feet squared. We never say the perimeter is 20. We say it's 20 feet. Okay? Always label. You learn that in grade school. You learn that in junior high. You learn that in high school. They would mark the problems wrong if you didn't label them. Okay? You gotta label. What is the length of this rectangle? Everybody?
7 feet.
7 feet. Okay? We can count it, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 feet. Okay? What is the width?
3 feet.
3 feet. Okay, write these down. So what is the area then?
21.
Okay, look up here. 21 what?
Feet.
All right, so you didn't label it. 7 feet times 3 feet. I want all eyes up here real quick. Okay, I hope we can see the red on the camera. Maybe I better do red is the new black or something. Here we go. All right. So 7 feet times 3 feet. Really interesting here. 7 times 3 is 21. If I asked you what is 7 times 7, could you say 7 squared is a true answer to that? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. If I have x times x, is that equal to x squared?
Yes.
Yeah. So if I take feet times feet, what does that equal? Feet squared, right? I'm multiplying feet times feet. I want you to understand that concept. That's why that's feet squared. Okay? If I add 7 feet plus 3 feet, that equals 10 feet because I'm not multiplying. I'm saying, just like x plus x in algebra makes 2 x's. Okay? Not x squared. When we multiply, we get the squared thing going on. Okay? So I want you to check this out really quick. One of those boxes up there, and I want you to label this in your workbook, I want you to label this. I'm going to label it on the board here, but down here, what is this little measurement right here? What is that?
The base?
Yeah, the base of that. If I take one of these blocks out of here, what is the distance from here to here? What is it?
1 foot.
It's 1 foot. Fetch yeah. And what is the distance from here to here?
1 foot.
It's 1 foot. And the same up here, what is this?
1 foot.
1 foot. And over here?
1 foot.
1 foot. So literally, that is, what shape is that? What shape is that?
Square.
It's a square, and every dimension is,
Foot.
it's equal, but it's a foot. Okay? So literally translated, this is a square foot. If you've ever wanted to know what's a square foot, there's a square foot right there. You know, you take your shoe and your sock off and you look, if your foot looks like that, you got a square foot too. Okay? Well, probably not. Okay? Yeah? You're not 12 inches by 12 inches on that sucker? Okay? Okay? Alright? So, check it out. Count with me. Everybody, join me in this little exercise. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
21 what?
Square feet.
Square feet, because they're literally squares that are 1 foot each. So we literally have 21 square feet. So this whole 7 times 3 makes 21 square feet is not magic. It's a short fetch and cut, right? Because we're looking at this saying, hey, I got 7 by 3, and I don't want to go 1, 2, 3, you know, you enjoy counting to 21? Did you enjoy that? No, man. It's easier to say, hey, I got 3 columns of 7 rows, or whatever, or 7 rows of 3 columns, and I got 7 times 3 is 21 square feet. We cool? And that's what all of these formulas do. They're just shortcuts. Cool? So what's the perimeter of this rectangle? All right? So think about it again. I got 7 and 3 and 7 and 3. So I got 2 times 7 plus 2 times 3, also known as 2L plus 2W. So that makes 14 plus 6 equals 20, and we label it 20 feet. Cool? All right. What is a square foot? We just described that. Is a square a rectangle? Is a square a rectangle?
Yes.
Yeah. Because a square, think about it, it's a 4-sided object, all the angles are 90 degrees, and opposite sides are equal. But not only are opposite sides equal, but
All sides.
all sides are equal. So it's a special kind of rectangle in which all the sides are equal. But squares are rectangles. And why is that important to know? Because we don't have to learn a separate set of formulae, plural for formulas, okay? We don't have to learn different formulas for the area and the perimeter of a square because squares are rectangles. Cool? All right, let's go to the next page quickly. Boom. Next shape. Triangle. Okay? A triangle is a 3-angled object. It is also a 3-sided object. The sum of the 3 angles is always 180 degrees. That's kind of interesting and fascinating. And every triangle is half of a rectangle. That is also kind of fascinating. Okay, look up here, please. I'll show you this. If I have a triangle right here, watch this. Sound effects are free. Okay? Look at that. That's the mirror image, right? This is the rectangle. There's the triangle. Look at this. You say, well, what about this one, Brother Rich? We got you on that one. Yeah, fetch you. Okay, check it out. Beep, 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 beep. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so look at this. These are mirror images of each other. This is a mirror image of each other, right? If this triangle is half of this rectangle, and this triangle is half of that rectangle, then the 2 triangles together are half of the overall rectangle, okay? Every triangle is half of a rectangle. I want to teach you something super fascinating right now. The human species is a fascinating species. We know very little. Think about this. Look at me for a second. We know very, very little. But we take what we know and we go nuclear with it. And we just blow it up. And this is true in all kinds of subjects. We only know how to take the area of 2 objects. Rectangles and circles. Okay? And people say, nah, I like when they talk about this. Now, but we can take them of triangles and parallelograms and rhomboids and hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids are not in there. Okay? We don't know how to take the area of a triangle 1/2 base times height? Because, let's take the first one that you have there. Okay? You got 6 centimeters, and down at the base you have 12 centimeters. Okay? But if we go, okay? All right, so check it out. What is this right here? What is this right here? What's the length? It's 6 centimeters. And what is this length right here?
12.
It's 12 centimeters. So what is the area of that rectangle? Of the rectangle?
6 centimeters times 12 centimeters.
Which is, you know your 12s. It's 72 centimeters squared. But if we divide that by 2, 36 centimeters squared equals the area of that triangle. So literally, we turn the triangle into a rectangle and then divide it by 2 because all triangles are half of a rectangle. That's the only way we can do this. And we do this over and over and over again in math. And we do it in every subject in life. We know very little, but then we take that and we blow it up. And we use that knowledge to learn and do lots of things with it. Okay? Okay, look up here, please. The base, pretty simplistic. The height is always, it is from the base at a 90-degree angle to the highest point on the triangle known as the apex. Okay? Perimeter is always the sum of all the sides, and the 3 angles of the triangle equal 180 degrees. Right now, I already talked to you about how each triangle is half a rectangle. Why? What is the area of each of these triangles? Really quick, help me out. So 12 times 6 is 72, and but with 1/2 of that, right? 1/2 base times height, and half of 72 is 36 centimeters squared. What is the area of this right here? 12 times what? Is 84, and half of 84 is 42 centimeters squared is the area of that rectangle. We cool? Write all these down. What is the perimeter of each of these? Hey, for us to miss class Monday, we've got to fly through this, and I gotta know you can handle this. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, are you cool with the areas that I shared with you? You wrote them down. Okay, you know how to do it. You took 12 times 7, got 84. 84 divided by 2, 42 centimeters squared. What is the perimeter? 12 plus 7 plus 8. What does that make? 27 centimeters. What is the perimeter of this one? 12 plus 7 plus 14, right? 12 plus 7 plus 14. 33 centimeters. Agreed? 33 centimeters. Okay? All right. What is angle N right here? We got 36. Let's do this really quick. Okay. We got 36 and 80 and N. 36 degrees, 80 degrees, and N degrees. Alright? So if the 3 angles of a triangle equal 180, we're saying 180 equals 36 plus 80 plus N. Agreed? What's 36 and 80? 116 plus N. How do I solve for N? We're going to subtract 116 from each side. There you guys go. That's pretty algebraic. We're going to get into that in a week. 180 minus 116 makes what? 64 equals N. So the answer is 64 equals N. Okay? We can do that for any triangle because the sum of all the angles equals 180 degrees. We have a missing angle, we can always find this. Okay? We cool? Hard or easy? This is pretty easy stuff because ultimately, what are we being given? We're being given formulas, and then we can take the formulas and use them. Oops. Oh my gosh, what did that happen? Okay, no, I don't really want to look at the news today. Okay. Parallelogram. What's a parallelogram? It's a 4-sided object in which opposite sides are equal, and you can cut off one end and place it over here. You can take this right here where that little dotted line is, and you put it over here, and what does it make?
Rectangle.
It makes a rectangle, right? And so some questions here. First, let's find the perimeter of this parallelogram. What is the perimeter? Perimeter is going to be what?
Some of the sides.
Some of the sides. So it's going to be 20 plus 7 plus 20 plus 7, which makes 54. 54 what? Centimeters. Always label. Find the area. What's the area? The area is base times height. Why? Because we're treating it like a rectangle. We're cutting that angle off and pasting it on the other side. Yes?
Wait, why would it be 4? You did 7.
Yeah, right. But listen, I love this question. It's an awesome question. What's your name again? Emery. So Emery is asking such a stellar question, okay? Remember, perimeter is exterior measurement. This right here, this height, it's 4 centimeters. That's on the interior right here, right? But my perimeter is this and this and this and this, okay? And so I have 20 and 7 and 20 and 7. That's why, okay? So I got to add 20 plus 7 plus 20 plus 7. 4 is not on the exterior of this parallelogram, right? If I cut this and I put it over here, you're saying, well, then it is. Okay, but that's how I find the area of this parallelogram, is I treat it like a rectangle. Okay, so I have to say this is 20 plus 7 plus 20 plus 7. Such an awesome question. And also, I want to show you guys something interesting while we're on this topic, okay? If I wanted to find the perimeter of any object, I mean, weird objects like this, you know. Okay, I could find the perimeter of that object as long as I know the measurement of every side. If this is 4 and this is 6, okay, and we could say, you know, this is 6 and this is 2 and 2, and, you know, blah, 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 I don't know, we could say this is 10, we could say this is 4 right here, and this is 4, and this is 6, and this is 4. You know, we could add all those up, 10 plus 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2 plus 6 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6, and we would have the perimeter of that object. To find the area, I would have to do some things where I'd have to, you know, kind of make rectangles out of this. And I'd have to find the area of all 3 rectangles and then add it up. Because I can't find the area of anything except rectangles, circles. Okay? You cool? All right. All right, really quick. What is the area then of this? It's 80 what? Always label centimeters squared, because it's the base times the height, right? Is a rectangle, is it a parallelogram? It is. Why?
Opposite sides are equal.
Yeah, it's a 4-sided object and opposite sides are equal, okay? But instead of being, you know, angled, right, it happens to be one in which, so right here, parallelograms can have non-90 degree angles in them. It's just a special parallelogram in which the 4 angles are 90 degree angles. That's what differentiates it from all the other parallelograms. Are all parallelograms rectangles? No, because they can have other angles in them, right? But a rectangle is a parallelogram, but a special parallelogram in which all the angles are 90 degrees. I already talked to you about only knowing how to find the area of 2 objects. Okay, let's talk about circles real quick. Okay? A circle, if you ask me what pi is, I'm just going to tell you 3.14. You know, if you're like, well, why is it 3.14? Let's not get into that discussion. That's like asking if Adam has a belly button. I don't know. You know, I don't want to get into it, you know, with you. It's a pretty deep discussion. You know. You cool? All right. So pi is known as a constant. Its decimal value is 3.14. It actually goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. On March 14th, which is 314, right? March 14th is 314, 3.14. Mathematicians celebrate that day like, you know, Christmas. Weird. That's weird. Okay? I mean, if you're a nerd, you're just stamping an exclamation mark on Pi Day. You know, it's like, hey, you know, it's March 14th, let's have a party. Okay. So, anyways, they memorize, you know, in competitions and see who can name the most digits in pi. Pi is a never-ending number. It goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay, but there's no pattern to the repetition, so we just round it, call it 3.14. This is the fraction value of it, 22/7. If you plug pi in your calculator right now, you'll see all the digits going. Okay, all right. If you want to memorize digits of pi on March 14th, have a great day. I'm not doing it with you. Okay. So when we have a circle from the center out, this is called the radius, right? Just R. 2 radiuses make a diameter. So a diameter equals 2R. if we want to find the area of a circle, it's pi r squared. If we want to find the circumference is like, look, if I cut this right here and then I stretch that out into a straight line, like a string, and wrapped it around here, and then I would measure from here to here. That's your circumference. It's like perimeter. Okay, it's 2 pi r or pi d. Why or pi d? Okay, hey, pi 2r, I could rearrange that. Why can I rearrange it? Well, what's 2 times 3 times 4? Is it the same as 4 times 3 times 2?
Yeah.
Same answer, right? So I can rearrange things that are being multiplied. We're going to talk about that next week. It's called the commutative law. It's another one of the basic fundamentals we're going to talk about. We're not going to worry about it today. But 2r is pi, right? I'm sorry, 2r is d, is diameter. 2 radiuses make a diameter. And so that's why it's 2 pi r or pi d. Let's go ahead on this one real quick. Find the diameter of the circle. What's the diameter? 24 feet. It's 2r. Let's find the area. We're going to need to use our calculators. Let's get them out. Let's go. Okay. The area equals pi r squared. So the area equals 3.14. The radius is 12. We got 12 squared. So the area equals 3.14 times 144. Got to put that in the calculator. What do you get? 452.16 what?
Feet squared.
Is that feet up there? Yep, feet squared. We're solid. Okay. What is the circumference? The circumference is going to be c equals 2 pi r or pi d. So c equals 2 times 3.14 times the radius, which is what? 12. Okay. So we can multiply these. Get c equals 2 times 3.14 is going to be 6.28 times 12. Put that in the calculator. What do you get? 75.36 something, and it is just feet. Okay? We good? Again, we are just plugging numbers into formulas, right? One of the easiest things we can do. Last one that we're going to learn, the rectangular cuboid or rectangular prism. Okay? Volume inside of that box is length times width times height. Okay? So what is the volume of this rectangular solid? You can use your calculators. 12 times 8 times 4.
32.
12 times 8 times 4. All 3 dimensions.
584.
What?
384.
384 what?
Inches cubed.
Inches cubed. Inches cubed. Because you're multiplying inch times inch times inch. Just like x times x times x would be x to the third, right? X times x times x equals x to the third. Inch times inch times inch would be inches cubed. And we're multiplying 3 sets of inches times each other. So what is the label of the volume? Right? It's inches cubed. It's always cubic. Is a cube a rectangular solid? Yes, a cube is a rectangular solid, but it's a special kind of rectangular solid in which all sides are equal. And all sides, all faces are squares. Okay? You got me? It's a perfect box in which all sides are the same. Okay. Straight up, you guys tell me, hard or easy?
Easy.
It's easy stuff. Okay. You're going to run into one problem. All eyes up here. All eyes up here. Do not look down right now. You're going to run into one problem in your homework. Maybe a couple that make you go, huh? You need help? You got tutoring. You're going to use the tutors. I want you guys to utilize that. But you got one problem like this. They got a building, footprint, and here's the building, and this portion here is the sidewalk. And they ask you to find the area of this sidewalk, and it's perfectly straight lines, and they give you all the measurements. Well, we don't know how to find the area of an L. What the L? That's where that statement came from. Just kidding. Dad jokes. Come on, help me out here. Okay, so listen. What are we going to do? Well, we can make an imaginary line here, and we can find the area of this rectangle and that rectangle and add them together. Or you could find the area of the big rectangle and then the area of the small rectangle, and you could subtract them, and it would leave the area of the L. Okay? So just know that when you run into that problem in your homework, you know what to do. All right, guys, I'm going to show you this really quick. Okay? Fast, fast, fast. Okay. So here's your test. Please pay attention. You're going to click on this test, and I'm actually going to leave student view. And there's going to be some directions up here. It says, welcome to the Chapter R celebration. I don't write these. I wrote the workbook. I don't write this. This is not a celebration. Okay? It's a test. Some Goomba called it a celebration. We are not celebrating anything. People call this like a celebration of knowledge. Okay? Don't wrap poop in a bag and call it a present. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I ain't into that kind of salesmanship. Just tell it like it is. There are always 25 questions. They're multiple choice. There is no time limit for the test. But when you sit down to take the test, okay, I don't care. Listen to me. Let me tell you this. It says you may only use a non-graphing calculator. Okay? Scratch paper and a pencil. You use a graphing calculator, you can cheat. Don't do that. Don't use those. Get your own little scientific calculator. You can use scratch paper, pencil, or pen. No notes, textbooks, websites, or other people are allowed during the test. Again, honesty and integrity. Okay? It's a wonderful gift to be able to just take this test wherever. Okay? And whenever you want. You have through Tuesday night. How wonderful is that? You have all day tomorrow, all day Sunday, all day Monday, and all day Tuesday. You pick when you want to take it. But when it's over, it's over. You don't miss tests in college. You miss a test, you fail this class. Bottom line. It's the most important thing. You cannot miss tests, and don't cheat on them. When you sit down, I highly recommend that you grab some snacks, your favorite drink. You want to listen to music? I don't care. You just can't cheat. Whatever comforts you when you take the test, have it around you. Okay? When you begin the test, though, you cannot leave the test and come back to it. If you got to go potty, you know, I don't care. You need to pee pee, poo poo, number 3, whatever. Okay? Do what you got to do. But you can't get up from the test and go play Mario Kart. Hang out with your buds and come back. Once you begin the test, you finish it. We clear? Okay? Just got to get it done. Okay. You have 2 assignments that are required before you take any test. Bear with me here. We're almost done. So you're gonna hit, you click on this. Once you open it up, you can start taking the test. The test opens tonight at midnight, because literally that's tomorrow. It opens at 12 a.m. You want to take it at midnight tonight? Have at it. Whatever. All right. I don't know why this is having a moment here. Here we go. Okay, next thing. Please listen. Before you take any test in this class, you're required to do 2 assignments. These 2 assignments will be due by midnight on Tuesday as well as the test will. I could make it due earlier, but I'm trying to give you as much time to just get it done and get it in. But you have to take it before you take the test. Visual chart. What's a visual chart? It's a cheat sheet. I literally kind of draw one up for you right here. Please look at this. You're going to make a cheat sheet. It needs to be hyper thorough. This is an example of what I would do on this box. You have to have all your sections represented. R1 and R2 combined to be factoring in LCMs. You can take all the notes from R1 and R2 and squeeze them in here. Talk about fractions, decimals, percents, the conversions, and what we just did with all the stuff with geometry. Here we have the 3 E's of exponents, the number 1 mistake, the opposite of the mistake, the 4 steps of the order of operations, how to write it in shorthand, the 3 types of parentheses, some big examples, small examples, everything you can imagine. Okay? I want to return to this, a visual chart. Okay, really quick. A visual chart is a cheat sheet, but you're not allowed to use it on the actual test, so we don't cheat. It is really powerful and been proven in research to benefit students in both math and sciences. Students who prepare cheat sheets learn the material. It is supposed to be one-sided, never write on the back side, because you can memorize it better. It is to be thorough, organized, and neat. You're going to incorporate all the sections covered in the chapter. Authorship is ownership. Please look up here. This right here is matter unorganized. You need to organize it before you take the test. And you got to author your own stuff on this visual chart. These visual charts I've watched over the years, they make a huge difference. Leave nothing out. Even if you know the material, write it on your visual chart. Because again, it's matter unorganized. You need to organize your thoughts so that you can recall it in your time of need. You must make it before doing the practice test. You can use it on the practice test, but not on the real test. Study it. What should be included in it? Key processes, definitions, and examples. Full spectrum means easy and hard examples. Last thing. Once you've made the visual chart, I have prepared a practice test for every test. You have no idea what a gift this is. This practice test will expose you to everything you see on the test. You take it, you use your visual chart while you're taking it, and you're going to be prepared for every test in this class. There are 39 problems on this practice test. There are 25 on the real test. All the answers are provided for you to the practice test as all of our assignments, so you can check your answers and see how you're doing. There is no class Monday. Between now and Wednesday, you have to get R7 done by Monday class time. You have to get the visual chart and the practice test done by Tuesday at midnight, and you have to take the actual test by Tuesday at midnight. Okay? You have this time to do what you want to do. Some of you are going to get all this done. And Monday would be a waste of time to come to class anyways. You're going to get it all done this weekend, and you're going to be done, like, woohoo, okay? Some of you are going to procrastinate, wait till the last minute. I don't care what you do. You just got to get it all done. Question?
And we also have to take the tours before Tuesday.
Well, the tour,
The math tutors.
the math tutor challenges have to be done as well, yes. Okay? You have like 2 of those a week, so, yep, yeah.
Would it be best for the visual chart to print out and write it?
You know, you could take this right here and you could print that and use what I wrote, but you can get a sheet of paper, just, you know, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, rip it out, and you should really write your own thing for R5 that I did at R6, and but you can copy what I wrote, you know. Any other questions? All right, you guys cool? Cool. All right, you